Then in grade 11, we went on to the compound sentence. And these are the notes that we gave you then. The compound sentence has two subjects and two finite verbs. And if you've got two subjects and two finite verbs, you also need one conjunction. So a compound sentence has two subjects and two finite verbs and is joined by a conjunction. We talked in grade 11 about those conjunctions. We said the compound sentence involves the use of coordinating conjunctions. How did we define the coordinating conjunction? We said this. A coordinating conjunction joins words, phrases, or clauses of equal value. Do you remember what we said in grade 11? If you say bread and butter, words of equal value. Remember the seesaw. If you've got two people of the same weight, the seesaw moves nice and easily. Same thing with a coordinating conjunction. It'll join bread and butter. They're of equal value. It'll join without interest but with kindness, of equal value. Let's see if we can make this clearer by looking at some examples. Here's our first one. The eastern parts of the country are likely to become wetter and they're likely to suffer serious flooding. Start with finding your finite verb. Now, this finite verb is one that people forget. Are is part of the verb to be. You mustn't forget that. So your finite verb is are. Be very careful. Don't go for to become. If it's to plus a verb, to run, to jump, to swim, to eat, that's an infinitive. So look again. Are is your finite verb, and we've got the same finite verb again later on. There it is. So two finite verbs. If you've got two finite verbs, you've got two subjects. What are likely to become? The eastern parts of the country. What are likely to suffer? They. So two subjects, two finite verbs means two clauses. Remember, a clause has a subject and a finite verb. So you've got two clauses. If you've got two clauses, that means how many conjunctions? One. One conjunction. Go looking for it. There it is, and. So it's a compound sentence. Why? Because it's joining this clause, the eastern parts of the country are likely to become wetter, to this clause, and they are likely to suffer serious flooding. They are clauses of equal value. It's a compound sentence. Then we have this sentence. The predictions are dire, but national authorities have taken several major steps to combat climate change. Finite verbs, remember are, don't ever forget are. And then, but national authorities have taken. Remember, it's more than taken, have taken. There's your finite verb. So, two finite verbs means how many clauses? Every clause has a verb. So, two finite verbs equals two clauses. How many conjunctions? One conjunction. So let's go looking for our conjunction. There it is. But. What is it joining? The predictions are dire, but national authorities have taken several major steps to combat climate change. So the two coordinating conjunctions that we've got here, we've got and we've got but. They are the two most common coordinating conjunctions. The other one that you should know is or. So if you're looking for coordinating conjunctions, most common and, but, and or. And what do they join? Words, phrases, or clauses of equal value. Let's just revise a little bit more about a clause just to make sure that that's clear for you. What must a clause have? it must have a subject, and it must have a finite verb. We're going to look at a few more sentences. We're going to start with find the finite verbs, decide on how many clauses, look for conjunctions. Let's do that now. Here is our first sentence. South Africa's per capita carbon footprint is 3 times higher than China's, and it is on a par with that of the UK and Japan, according to the Worldwide Fund for Nature. Start with finding your finite verb. South Africa's per capita carbon footprint is. Don't forget is. Many learners forget that the verb to be is either part of the verb or the whole finite verb by itself. There it is. There's your finite verb. And it is on a par. There's your second finite verb. 2 finite verbs. How many clauses? Every clause has a finite verb, so 2 finite verbs equals 2 clauses. 2 clauses, how many conjunctions? 1 conjunction. Go looking for it. You've got and. So we've got South Africa's per capita carbon footprint is 3 times higher than China's, first clause, and it is on a par with the rest of this, second clause. Right, one more example here. Let's have a look at it. Let's look at this. We've got 2 sentences with a full stop in the middle of them. Let's see what we've got. From here on out, energy production, petrol prices, and electricity rates rise. These price hikes will not turn around. Find your finite verbs. From here on out, energy production, petrol prices, and electricity rates rise. There's your finite verb. These price hikes will not turn around. Your finite verb is actually will turn around. If you put in the not, nobody's going to be very upset with you, but the finite verb is actually will turn around. Notice this is a sentence with only 1 finite verb. So what do we call that? We call that a simple sentence. Why? How many clauses has it got? 1 finite verb. How many clauses? 1 clause. So it's a simple sentence, 1 clause. What about the second sentence? These price hikes will not turn around. Again, simple sentence, 1 clause. Why is it only 1 clause? 1 finite verb. If you wanted then to join those 2 to make a compound sentence, how would you do it? You would use something like and. From here on out, energy production, petrol prices, and electricity rates rise, and these price hikes will not turn around. So if you wanted to create a compound sentence, you would use the conjunction and. We went from the compound sentence to the complex sentence. So let's revise that as well. So the complex sentence. A complex sentence consists of 1 main clause and 1 or more subordinate clauses. Now, a subordinate clause will be joined to a main clause by a subordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunctions join main clauses to each other. Subordinating conjunctions join a main clause to a subordinate clause.